Hello everyone. In this video I am going to explain a basic concept in logic called modus tollens. It is one of the most important rule of reasoning that help us make varied conclusions. So, what is modus tollens? Modus tollens is rules of logical reasoning. It helps us to reject a statement when the result of that statement is not true. In simple words, it means if P implies Q and Q is false, then P must also be a false. Let's look at the logical form. If P implies Q, Q is false. There, P is also false. This pattern is known as denying the consequent. Now let's look at the example from daily life. If it's raining there, then the ground will be wet. But if we see the ground is not wet, then we can conclude that is not raining. Here it is raining is P and the ground is wet is Q. Since Q is false, we can say P is also false. Let's take one more example from mathematics. If a number is divisible by 4, then is even the number is not even. Therefore, it is not divisible by 4. This is also modus tollens in action. So, summarize. Model tolerance is used prove statement by contra- contradiction. It's a valid and logical way of reasoning. And remember, model tolerance means denying the consequence, which means we deny the second part of the statements to conclude something about the first part. So that's also about modus tolerance. It's a simple but powerful to using logic, mathematics and reasoning. Thank you for watching explanation.
Hello, I'm by the name Demubir. I'm here to explain more about conjunction. Conjunction is the logical rule that allowed you to combine two true statements into one compound statement using the logical operator and. The conjunction rule said if both statement P and Q are true, then the statement P and Q is also true. This reads as if P is true and Q is true, then we can revise P and Q. Example, in everyday language, the statement meaning P it is raining, Q it is cold. Both P and Q are true. Therefore, by the conjunction, we can conclude it is raining and it is cold. True table for P and Q. P is equal to true, 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 true. Then P, then Q is equal to for true, true, false. The conjunction P and Q is true only when both P and Q are true.
Now let's look at simplification as an inference method. Simplification is a logical inference rule that allows us to derive a single statement from conjunction, a statement joined by the and negation. If two statements are both true, each of them is individually true, and the logical form is presented as P and Q. We can infer this as either P is true or Q is true if the statement is true or the both statements are both true. And let's look at the examples here so we better understand. Here I have two examples, and the first one is it is raining and it is cool. So this statement is true. And so if it's true, and then either of the statement can be true individually, and that is it's raining can be true on its own, it is cool can be true individually. And we can represent this in a logical form as it's raining, it's our P, and it's cool, it's our Q. So P and Q infer P, or P and Q infer Q. And so For the second example, the suspect was at the scene and had motive. P and Q infer P, P and Q infer Q, and that is simplification as the inference methods.
Multiple points. It means the weight of afferent if one statement implies another and the first statement is true. Then the second must also be true. If P then Q, P is true. Therefore Q is true. Example, if it rains, the government get wet. It is rained. Therefore the government get well. If a student studying hard, they will pass their exam. The student studying hard, therefore the student will pass their exams.
Hello everyone, my name is Noah and today I'm going to explain you guys about the conjunction. So what is conjunction? Conjunction is if the two sentences and each of the sentences is true, then the combination of the two sentences using and the symbol is this is true. So in another words, P and Q, P is true and Q is true, then the P and Q is also true. In symbol, we can just say like P and Q. So, for example, if I eat nasi goreng today, and I also eat mee ayam today, so today I eat both nasi goreng and mee ayam today. In the above case, if we take I eat nasi goreng as P and I eat mee goreng as Q, then I eat nasi goreng and mee goreng as P and Q is also true. Thank you, everyone.